Have you ever wondered why sometimes you make decisions quickly without thinking thoroughly, only to regret your choice later? Or why there are times when you're so hesitant, unable to decide, even though the situation seems clear? The truth is, inside our minds, there are two completely different ways of thinking, each influencing the decisions we make in life. One is quick, automatic decision-making, without much thought. The other is slow, deliberate thinking, where we analyze and consider every detail. Did you know that sometimes the automatic decisions we make can lead us to serious mistakes, while the slow, thoughtful ones can help us avoid unnecessary risks? Daniel Kahneman's book, Thinking, Fast and Slow, takes you on a journey to explore how our brain works when it comes to decision-making, from the smallest everyday choices to the life-changing ones. Will you gain a deeper understanding of yourself after discovering these psychological mechanisms? Let's dive in and find out in this video. If you find the video interesting, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Chapter number 1. Introduction to Human Thinking. Imagine you're standing in front of an important decision. It could be choosing a new job, buying an expensive item, or even deciding whether to go on a trip. At this moment, your brain begins working non-stop. But have you ever wondered what exactly it's doing? Every day we face countless decisions, and our brain doesn't just choose, but also processes a vast amount of information to come to a conclusion. What's fascinating is that our brain operates two completely different types of thinking when making decisions. One is fast, automatic thinking that doesn't require much effort, and the other is slow, deliberate thinking, which takes time to analyze and assess thoroughly. However, most of us often rely on the fast thinking system without even realizing it, because it saves time and effort, especially in situations where quick decisions are needed, like in emergencies, or simply when choosing a dish from a menu. For example, when you spot a familiar face in a crowd, your fast thinking system helps you recognize them instantly without much thought. This is due to the brain's ability to recognize faces, an automatic response from System 1. But this can also lead to mistakes when we rely on quick judgments without enough information. For instance, you might think that a well-dressed person is trustworthy, but that's not always the case. On the other hand, in more important situations like buying a house or investing in a company, you can't just rely on automatic responses. The slow thinking system kicks in, requiring you to think, analyze, and carefully evaluate every factor, from costs, risks, to other available options. This is when the slowness and careful consideration help you make more accurate and rational decisions. However, what's interesting is that while the fast thinking system helps us make quick decisions in simpler situations, it can easily lead to mistakes and inaccurate judgments, as we often rely on our feelings and personal experiences rather than considering all the factors objectively. Take a daily life example. When deciding whether to choose a black or red jacket, the automatic response of the fast thinking system will make you decide in seconds without much thought. But if you take a little more time to consider, you might realize that the black jacket not only matches better with other clothes, but also suits the weather. This can only happen when you use the slow thinking system to analyze and make your decision. Fast or slow thinking isn't just about the speed of decision making. It's also a part of the process of self-awareness and personal growth. The more you understand how these two systems work, the better you can control your decisions, avoid cognitive traps, and become smarter in facing future situations. The more you understand how your brain works, the better equipped you'll be to make decisions and recognize the best choices for your life. Chapter number 2. Analysis of System 1 and System 2. When we face decisions every day, our brains don't always operate in the same way. On the contrary, it uses two completely different thinking methods, and each system influences how we make decisions in different situations. These are System 1 and System 2. System 1. Fast and automatic. Thinking System 1 is responsible for quick, automatic decisions that don't require much thought. These are instantaneous reactions, often based on feelings, habits, and prior experiences. You can think of System 1 like an automatic machine. It works immediately and doesn't require much effort from you. Example of System 1. Imagine you're standing in front of a fast food counter. The feeling of hunger and thirst makes you quickly glance at the menu and decide to order fried chicken or a burger. You don't need to think carefully about factors like calories, nutrition, or nutritional value. This is System 1 at work. It helps you make decisions quickly without needing to analyze the details. Similarly, when you spot a familiar face in a crowd, you don't need to think long to recognize them. All the information you've accumulated before, from their walk to their voice, is processed by System 1, and a conclusion is instantly drawn. It's an automatic, quick, and highly efficient ability. However, the speed and automation of System 1 can sometimes be a double-edged sword. Sometimes it leads us to make mistakes because we don't take enough time to think thoroughly. For instance, in first encounters, you might hastily judge a person based on their appearance, neglecting more important factors like their character or inner values. System 2. Slow and analytical thinking. In contrast to System 1, System 2 operates in a deliberate, conscious manner that requires attention and careful analysis. This system kicks in when you need to make important decisions that demand thought and consideration. Example of System 2. Imagine you're considering buying a new phone. This isn't a decision you can make in seconds like choosing fast food. Instead, you'll need time to compare options, analyze the features of each phone, camera quality, battery life, performance, price, and reviews from other users. In this case, System 2 helps you make a more rational decision because it requires you to analyze and evaluate all factors logically and thoroughly. System 2 helps you handle complex situations, such as deciding whether to invest in a new project. You can't just rely on gut feelings or automatic responses. You need to research, assess risks, calculate potential profits, and understand the market before making a choice. The relationship between System 1 and System 2. In reality, System 1 and System 2 don't operate independently. They interact with each other. System 1 often takes the lead because it helps us make quick decisions without spending much energy. However, if the situation requires an important or complex decision, System 2 steps in and ensures we make a more accurate choice. For example, when you're driving and face an unexpected situation, like another car suddenly slamming on its brakes in front of you, System 1 immediately triggers your reflexes to brake in time. However, if you're planning for a long vacation and must decide between multiple destinations, System 2 will help you analyze factors like cost, travel time, activities, and convenience to make the best decision. Conclusion: both thinking systems play crucial roles in our lives. System 1 helps save time and energy in simple situations, but it can sometimes lead us to mistakes because we don't take the time for in-depth analysis. System 2, although it takes more time and effort, helps us make more accurate and rational decisions in important situations. Therefore, understanding and being aware of how System 1 and System 2 work will improve our decision-making abilities. When facing a situation, know when to let System 1 take over and when to switch to System 2 to make the best decision for yourself. Chapter number 3. The impact of System 1 on mistakes in thinking system. 1 operates incredibly quickly and efficiently when it comes to making decisions, helping us deal with countless daily situations without needing to think too much. However, this rush to decide can often lead to significant mistakes because System 1 doesn't require us to check or analyze the situation thoroughly. When the brain automatically judges and reacts, it's easy to make serious errors that we don't catch in time. That's why, at times, we regret quick decisions when we realize we've overlooked important factors. Example of a mistake in thinking. Imagine you are an investor, and you just received an offer to invest in a promising startup. This company has a new technology that everyone says is revolutionary, and other investors are eagerly jumping in. You feel excited and decide to invest immediately without much thought, just because everyone around you is doing the same. This is System 1 at work. you made a hasty decision without considering critical factors, such as the company's sustainability, the founder's capabilities, or the product's feasibility. You skipped checking financial reports or researching potential risks. Months later, you realize the company doesn't actually have a viable business model, and their product was just an empty promise. You've suffered significant losses. It's only now that you realize if you had taken the time to use System 2, stopping to analyze and evaluate factors thoroughly, you could have avoided this mistake. System 1 misled you because when everything happens too quickly and everyone around you is rushing, you automatically jump in without taking the time to think it through. Everyday situations. Mistakes caused by System 1 don't only happen with big decisions, they can occur in simple, everyday situations. For example, you're shopping and spot a jacket that you think looks great. You don't need to think for long before you decide to buy it because you simply like it. But when you get home, you realize that the jacket doesn't fit your style, or it's not something you can wear on many occasions. System 1 led you to make a hasty decision without checking important factors like the long-term value or versatility of the item. Why System 1 leads to mistakes? So why does System 1 lead us to mistakes so easily? The answer lies in the very nature of this system. System 1 works like a reflex, helping us make decisions quickly without considering every detail. However, this automatic nature often causes us to overlook important aspects that only System 2, the slower, more analytical system, can identify. These mistakes can be subtle, and if we're not careful, we won't recognize them until the consequences unfold. In practice, I believe that being aware of the existence of System 1 and recognizing when we're using it can help us avoid making mistakes. Just imagine, if we took a moment to stop, think, and analyze, we could avoid many risks in both our work and personal lives. Changing the habit of rushing decisions to making thoughtful decisions will not only help us minimize errors, but also make us more capable of making wise choices in the future. Chapter number 4. Theories on biases and errors in decision-making. Surely you've had moments where you made decisions and later thought, why did I do that? These are the instances when you realize that emotions, intuition, or some other factor led you down the wrong path. These mistakes don't happen randomly. They often arise from cognitive biases, distortions in the way we think and make decisions that our brains are prone to, especially when we rely on System 1, the fast-thinking system. Common cognitive biases in System 1, while helping us make quick decisions and saving energy, also easily leads us into biases in how we perceive and evaluate situations. Some of the most common cognitive biases created by System 1 include 1. Randomness bias. One of the biases System 1 tends to create is randomness bias. This happens when we believe events in life are related to each other, or when we perceive a random calculation in a situation when there is no actual connection. Example: imagine you've just lost a bet, and you feel like you'll win the next one because it's about time. This is a clear example of randomness bias. Our brains, when affected by failure, automatically think victory is due, without recognizing that each bet is an independent event, unaffected by previous outcomes. This phenomenon also occurs in business decisions. A person might keep investing in a company that has failed multiple times before, just because they believe this time will be different. This comes from the brain trying to find a random pattern in a series of events, while ignoring real factors that could determine success or failure. 2. Overconfidence bias. Another cognitive bias, created by System 1, is overconfidence bias. When we become overly confident in our abilities or luck, it can lead to poor decision-making. System 1 makes us feel confident and less anxious, which can result in overestimating our chances of success. Example: a person might think, I won't get into an accident while driving, even though they know accidents can happen to anyone. This is a classic example of overconfidence bias, where we believe it won't happen to me, even though risks are always present and out of our control. Similarly, in investing, people may believe that the stock price of a company will always rise, without considering potential risks like market conditions or internal issues within the company. This leads to risky decisions that can result in significant losses. 3. Confirmation bias. Confirmation bias is when we seek, evaluate, or recall information in a way that reinforces our initial beliefs or hypotheses. System 1 easily triggers this bias because we naturally prefer information that aligns with what we already think and tend to overlook contradictory data. Example: suppose you believe that a particular electronic product is good because you've heard several people praise it. When you research further, you focus only on positive reviews and ignore any negative ones. This is confirmation bias, where you don't get a well-rounded view of the product, leading you to make a poor purchasing decision. Why do we fall for these biases? System 1 helps us save time and energy in decision-making, but sometimes it comes at a high cost. The cognitive biases created by System 1 occur because our brains are wired to seek simplicity, ease, and automaticity in everything. When we don't have time or don't want to spend effort analyzing things deeply, System 1 takes over, leading to decisions that aren't fully thought through. Personal example. I think we've all been in a situation where we had to choose between working hard on something or opting for a quick solution to save time. But this often leads to results that don't turn out as expected. I remember once being involved in a large project and deciding to rush through it without checking all the details. As a result, I ended up having to redo much of my work, costing me more time and effort than if I had just taken the time to analyze it carefully in the first place. Conclusion: cognitive biases are an inherent part of how our brains work. However, if we are aware of them and learn to use System 2, slow, deliberate thinking, we can avoid many decision-making errors. Only when we stop to think critically and refuse to let ourselves be swept away by automatic thoughts can we make more thoughtful and rational choices. Chapter number 5. Applying System 2 for better decision-making. Real-life examples. In daily life, we can't always rush into decisions, especially when facing important situations. That's when System 2, the slow and analytical thinking system, comes into play. This system doesn't help us make decisions instantly. It requires us to take time, reflect, and analyze thoroughly before making any choice. While it can make the decision-making process slower, it is precisely through caution and analysis that we can make more accurate and rational decisions. Example 1. Investment decision. Imagine you're an investor considering putting your money into a new startup. I once faced such a decision where I had the opportunity to invest in a startup that everyone was raving about, claiming it was a golden opportunity. On the surface, it seemed like a promising company with a revolutionary product. However, instead of jumping into the decision based on excitement and positive feedback from others, I decided to use System 2. I took the time to research the company more thoroughly. I started analyzing the business model, reviewed their financial reports, and sought advice from experts in the field. I realized that while the company had an interesting product, the founding team lacked experience, and there was no clear growth strategy. As a result, I decided not to invest. This is a perfect example of how System 2 can help us avoid hasty decisions and make better choices, even though it may not provide the immediate thrill. Example 2. Choosing a new job. One of the most important decisions many people face in life is choosing a new job. Let's say you've been offered a position with a well-known company that offers a high salary, but you're unsure about the company's culture and work environment. Under the pressure of the attractive salary and the company's reputation, it's easy to rush into accepting the offer without fully considering other factors that could affect your happiness and long-term career growth. I remember a friend of mine who faced a similar situation. She received an offer from a prestigious company, but she felt uneasy about the way the company treated its employees. Instead of quickly accepting the offer, she decided to use System 2. She spent time researching the company's culture, spoke to current and former employees, and even attended an informal interview to understand the work environment. In the end, she decided to turn down the offer and continue searching for a job that better aligned with her values and career goals. Although it wasn't an easy decision, thanks to careful thought, she avoided committing to a company that wasn't the right fit for her. Benefits of using System 2 in major decisions. When we use System 2, we not only reduce the risks of making hasty decisions, but we also improve the quality of our lives, from career choices to personal relationships. System 2 encourages us to stop, think, and consider all the factors before acting. This helps us make decisions that are not only logically sound, but also aligned with our personal values and goals. I believe that in today's fast-paced and ever-changing world, applying System 2 in major decisions is essential. While it might take more time, it's the careful analysis and thoughtful consideration that help us build a solid foundation for the future and avoid mistakes that could have long-lasting consequences. Personal opinion. I think many of us tend to rely on System 1, quick and automatic, when making decisions, especially when situations require instant reactions. However, big decisions, such as financial investments or job choices, demand the use of System 2 to ensure that we're not just relying on our gut feeling, but are also considering the broader picture. Just imagine, if every major decision was carefully analyzed, we could avoid so many mistakes and build a more secure future. Chapter number 6, Lessons Learned and Conclusion. We live in a fast-paced world where every day we face countless decisions. Some of these decisions may be simple, while others are crucial, impacting our future. Our brains have automatic mechanisms that help us make quick decisions without expending much energy. This is System 1. This system helps us handle everyday situations without overthinking, from choosing a meal to reacting in emergencies. However, this speed can easily lead to mistakes because we may overlook important factors and fail to double-check information thoroughly. System 2, on the other hand, requires us to think slowly, analyze, and assess carefully before making a decision. This is the key to making better choices in critical situations, especially when faced with decisions that have long-term consequences. By using System 2, we not only avoid mistakes caused by rushing, but also gain a clearer perspective on potential hidden factors that System 1 might miss. Real-life example. Consider the example of buying a car. System 1 might make you attracted to a shiny, eye-catching model, focusing on its looks, without considering factors like fuel efficiency, durability, or maintenance costs. But if you take the time to think it through, research the performance, warranty, and read reviews from others who have used it, you'll realize that other models might offer more long-term value. This is the power of System 2. It helps you make more rational and accurate decisions, rather than being swayed by emotions or external appeal. I believe that in today's fast-paced world, using System 1 to make quick decisions is understandable because it saves time and energy. However, for important decisions, taking a moment to slow down and think is crucial. We can't afford to let hasty, unchecked decisions influence our future, particularly in situations related to finances, career, or significant relationships. Using System 2 can help us avoid making mistakes that are difficult to fix later. Conclusion. From the lessons learned in applying both System 1 and System 2, it is clear that being aware of how our brain functions when making decisions is essential. While System 1 helps us react quickly in simple situations, only when we use System 2, thinking slowly and double-checking information, can we make smarter and more rational decisions. By doing so, we minimize mistakes, enhance our decision-making abilities, and ultimately achieve better outcomes in life. Final thoughts on the book. Thinking, Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman is a powerful exploration of how our minds work when making decisions. Through his groundbreaking research, Kahneman shows us how our brains rely on two distinct systems of thinking. System 1, which is fast and automatic, and System 2, which is slow and analytical. This book not only provides profound insights into the biases and errors in our thinking, but also teaches us how to make more informed, thoughtful decisions by engaging the right system for each situation. It's a must-read for anyone looking to understand how human judgment works and how we can improve our decision-making process. This book is a brilliant guide to becoming more aware of our mental shortcuts and errors, and it empowers us to be more mindful in making decisions in our daily lives. Whether it's in business, personal relationships, or any other area of life, the lessons from Kahneman's research can help us avoid common pitfalls and make better, more rational choices. If you found this summary helpful and want to explore more insightful content, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos that break down important books and concepts to help you grow and succeed in every aspect of your life.